자, 여러분 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 토니월드입니다. 오늘 할 게임은 디스코 엘리시움입니다. 요거 친구한테 추천받고 오랜만에 다시 시켰습니다. 플레이한 시간 5.5시간밖에 안되는 게임이었기 때문에 새로운 게임을 시작하겠습니다. 사실 5시간밖에 하지 않았기 때문에 어떤 내용인지 하나도 몰라요. 여기서 알아보도록 합시다. 아키 타입 선택. 맞아, 두뇌파로 했었지. 첫 번째로 아키 타입을 선택을 해봅시다. 두뇌파, 매우 똑똑하나 사람들과는 잘 어울리지 못합니다. 흥미로운 사진들을 하며 독창적입니다. 감성파, 매우 감정적이며 매력적인 성품을 지녔으나 불안정한 성격입니다. 아마 미칠지도 모릅니다. 육체파, 매우 육체적이며 몸뚱이 하나로 이 세상을 헤쳐갑니다. 어떻게든 일을 처리하지만 돌처럼 멍청합니다. 그러니까 지니어스, F 그리고 헬청 3명 중에 1명을 선택해보죠. 근데 뭐지? 야, 운동은 똑같이 2개 샀네? 그러면은 두뇌파가 육체파의 상위 호환이 아닐까? 사실 육체가 더 그렇지만 육체 발달 정도구나. 두뇌파로 일단 한 다음에 나머지를 언젠간 하죠. 분노는 집안의 거울에 있다. 그곳이 분노의 주소지이다. 가장 맑은 물조차도 충분히 깊다면 익사할 수 있을지니.
There is nothing, only warm primordial blackness. You're conscious ferments in it, no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore.
원시 파충류뇌.
Ever.
영원히.
Never.
아주 영원히. 일단 기본적으로는 약간 어드벤처 느낌이 나고, 이걸 장르를 뭐라고 설명해야 되지? 야, 이거 미리 알아봤어야 되는데, 그러니까 이런 식으로 약간 디트로이트 비컴 휴먼 같이 그 자신의 선택한 것에 따라서 스토리가 바뀌고 엔딩이 바뀌는 뭐 그런 식의 게임이라고 알고 있어요. 1번 할게요.
Never ever ever, baby.
Baby. 그저 존재하지 않는 채로 남는다.
An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
이곳은 일체의 갈등도 결여된 채 전처들의 부재만이 존재하나니. 방금 그거 뭐였어?
An awareness
오,
creeps up on
변형계.
you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle, soaking in some lurid acidic sauce. It's bloated and shameful. A ball of meat surrounding you. This is a terrible line of questioning, and it will only lead to more awareness of the meat thing.
이거는 2번 하죠. 대화를 좀 합시다.
Ex-love, ex-tenderness.
아하.
It is foolish of you to resurface to the loss. Not after all the damage you suffered to get here. Some of it irreversible. Stay. Sail with me through the abyss of pelagic zone.
나와 함께 이 심해 저대를 항해하자. 예, 아니요. 예, 아니요. 예, 아니요. 아니요.
Do you really?
진심.
I wouldn't like it if I told you what was back there. Why'd you think you had to bludgeon yourself into oblivion? Or did you not sense yourself marinating? Poured so much on yourself, got a bit carried away, did we, chef?
이 젖갈 녀석. 그렇게 나서려지고 담가지다 못해. 잠깐. 알게 뭐야? 나 멍청인데. 아니지. 2번 하죠.
There's this giant ball there. An evil apes. And the evil apes are juking it out on the ball. You're one of them. It's basically all just evil apes juking it out
아,
on a giant ball.
나레이션은 최대한 듣고 갈게요. 나레이션이 굉장히 공을 들여 만들었기 때문에.
You can't even make out it's a ball when you're juking it out. It's that large.
아, 반복되는 거면은 이게 흐려지는 텍스트로 뜨는군요.
Infinitesimally small.
계속 말하는 그 치고받고 싸운다는 거.
Vying for resources. It's just a stupid expression you picked up somewhere. The part of the presentation you want to take home with you is this. You have to beat the other evil apes in the face, or you lose.
오. 슬픈 얘기야.
Yes, it is. And you drowned in that sadness a long time ago. You lost.
어? 무슨
The sound outside. You recognize it. It's a Caprice Canela motor carriage.
이거 약간 TRPG식으로 어떤 사건이 나오면은 제가 가진 주사위를 던집니다. 그래서 그 제가 굴린 주사위의 합과 이 기준이 되는 주사위의 수를 비교를 해서 성공인지 실패인지 따져요. 그래서 운빨도 잠깐 필요합니다. 눈을 뜬다. 시끄러워. 빨리 눈 떠라. 오. 이 장면 기억나지? 이 장면이 기억납니다. 이게 저거든요? 전데 제가 기억이 하나도 나지 않습니다. 심지어 알몸이네. 여기를 누르면은 WASD를 움직일 수 있니? 아니네. 이렇게 클릭을 해야 갈 수 있을 거예요. 오케이. 일단 바지를 입어라. 바지 모두 가지기. 플레이어 컷 바지.
You hear a jingle.
오.
Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants.
오케이, 열쇠가 있다.
It says
Oh.
whirling in rags on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door.
1번 방 열쇠를 얻었다.
The whirling in rags is a hostel cafeteria on the urban coast, frequented by dock workers.
와, 이거를 어려움을 성공하네. 해안 도시에 있는 호스텔 겸 식당입니다. 이렇게. 이런 것도 주울 수 있구나. 저것도 한번 주러 가보죠. 모두 가지기. 디스코풍 블레이저. 이거는
This fan has 2 chain
okay.
pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades.
나중에 제시도 할 수 있으니까 이거는 해보죠.
You swoop up
성공.
against the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade.
지난번에 했을 때는 이렇게까지 했던 것 같진 않은데.
What you
아무튼
have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie with 4 or 5 different patterns.
뭐
The knot reminds you of a noose. The blades come squeaking to a halt.
멈췄지.
A terrible mistake. Turn the lights off immediately. You can practically feel the photons burning a hole in your brain.
불을
The
끕시다.
lights are off.
탭을 눌러서 강조 표시. 이러면은 상호작용할 수 있는 것들을 모두 표시해주네요. 인벤토리. 지성 5, 감정의 육체의 운동사. 이거는 제 스탯이고, 내면 세계 플러스 1, 경찰 정신 플러스 1, 전기 화학 플러스 1, 노련미 마이너스 1. 플레어 컷 바지가 노련미를 없애줘. 그렇군요. 적들의 사각에 숨는다. 이런 거는 나중에 차근차근 알아보도록 하고. 화장실 안에 또 뭐가 있을 텐데. 저거 한번 가보죠. 욕조 안에 와인, 맥주, 리큐어병들이 보인다. 말로 표현 못할 악취입니다. 오케이. 노란색은 그냥 이런 식으로 그냥 설명하는 것만 있을 수 있겠구나. 근데 진짜 오지는 것 같다. 진짜 이것만 봐도 머리가 아픈데. 노래가 재생되는 도중에 누군가 테이프를 뜯어낸 것 같다. 이것만 보죠. 간단한 설명이니까. 코모도어 레드병은 비어있다. 이거 제가 마신 술이겠죠 아마도? 저 깨진 유리창 한번 보자.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
92%. 이거는 하죠.
The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
이건 정말 내 손으로 깬 건가?
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
오. 그럼 뭐가 창문을 부순 거지?
More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
역시 지성 5면 이 정도는 해야지. 충돌 규모를 산출해 봅시다.
It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist.
오케이.
Like the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the
Ooh.
corner, which, coincidentally, is missing its friend.
아, 이제 신발이 한 짝밖에 없죠.
Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe.
아, 내 신발이었어?
Now you only have one. If you're lucky, you can still find the other on the balcony outside. The door to it should be outside your room.
어쩌면 내가 한 게 아닐 수도는 아무래도 내가 한 거니까 아닐 거고. 가서 신발을 찾아봐야겠다.
Cool wind gushes in.
이것으로.
Your toes curl up from the cold.
이러면은 경험치를 얻을 수 있다고? 이렇게 일찍은요. 월요일 8시 11분에 신발 한 장을 찾읍시다. 요게 어차피 겁나 많을 거라서 굳이 모든 퀘스트 다 안 해도 된다고 들었거든요. 모두 가지기. 카세트 케이스는 뭐야? 아이템 0.5원에 파는. 오케이. 일단 나갑시다. 아니지, 신발을 줄 수 있나? 신발을 신어볼까? 모두 가지기. 녹색 구두 왼발. 그래도 뭐 신발 지금 신는 거야? 다른 한쪽 구두만 찾으면 됩니다. 대충 밖으로 나가서 찾아보죠. 하이.
Hello, officer.
51년 3월. 아니, 이걸 여는 걸 시도한 거였어? 몇 번 방인지 보려고 했는데. 안녕하세요. 당신 누구죠?
The young woman raises a cigarette to her
Miss
lips.
클라시.
Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28.
이거 너무 티인데? 근데 아니 왜 선택지가 이렇게 두 개밖에 없지? 말이라도 해봅시다.
No.
아니 괜히 말 걸었나?
The young woman shakes her head slowly.
교감 선생님.
No. You're a police officer, sir.
헛소리 하지 마.
I'm not. Unless you've been shitting us all this time.
너가 담배를 한 모금 더 피워야 된다.
You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less.
저는 너무 숙취에 쩔어가지고 제 직업도 모릅니다. 저는 경찰입니다.
Couldn't say. In truth, so far.
아, 술을 마시는
mostly
게
drinking.
주업무라고? 부럽다.
You have no doubt about the drinking. But do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped drunk? She must have heard something.
아니 이거는 적색 판정이라서 아까 백색 판정과 다르게 한 번 실패하면 그냥 끝이에요. 8%면은 어차피 시도하지 않는 거. 그리고 이건 내 스타일도 아니기 때문에. 술을 마셨음에 대해서는 의심의 여지가 없지만 본인이 얌전한 주정뱅이라고 생각하십니까?
Could it be because of the drinking?
She hasn't had time to
아,
put her
이거는
makeup on.
선택지
This is
계속하시고.
her morning cigarette. She looks tired, her beauty waning faster than it ought to at her age.
쿠프리 키나메가 뭐지?
She nods.
하지만 내게 자초지종을 설명하지 않고 있단 건 알겠어. 쿠프리 키니마가 뭐야? 여기에 대화는 없는데.
There's a mercenary out back. He's been hanged. The body has been there for a week now. The locals probably got tired
아,
of it and called the
이것도
cops.
봤었지.
I didn't mean to overwhelm you with information. You seem a bit lost, officer.
정신이 똑바로 박힌 사람이라면
Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer.
4번은 안 하고 떠나겠습니다.
Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here.
그러니까 처신 잘해라. 처신을
Something
잘해야겠군요.
stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. The need to ask questions. It's like you said the words a million times before.
오케이.
She looks back at you,
뭐야.
a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes.
오케이. 여기 사람들이 경찰을 별로 안 좋아한다니 무슨
The
뜻이지?
dock workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say about the rest of the city. You're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol.
레바숄. 아 그래 레바숄이 지역 이름이었어.
Revachol
기억나네.
is the disgraced
레바숄
foreign
만세.
capital of the world, divided into zones of control under foreign occupation. Half a century after a failed world revolution, she is central to our moment in time.
그게 나와 어떤 연관이 있는 건가?
You sure look like you're from Revachol. Revachol parties.
Her accent suggests she is not from around here. She's from Aranye, another part of the world.
오란예라는 지역이 사람이라고.
It's 51.
몇 세기지까지 물어볼까?
The current century?
현세기죠.
Centuries don't have numbers. They have names. And this is the current one.
오.
Civilization has existed for 8,000
이거
years,
엄청 미래네.
sir.
뭐가 그렇게 즐겁지?
You're right. There is nothing funny about civilization. There was the usual ruckus, loud disco music.
큰 디스코 음악 소리가 들렸다.
I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestration prime among them.
그 이름에서 당신이 무언가 떠올리기를 바라며 그녀가 눈썹 한쪽을 치켜 올린다.
Oh, that.
오, 성공.
Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
오오는 언급을 자제하는 게 낫습니다.
Oh were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
그래도 우리는 간다 그거지.
I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, disco stopped, and there was a change of pace. A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat.
오,
That went on for quite a while. Some of the
아까
time, you were yelling along to it.
아까 음반 받은 걸로 보여줄 수 있겠네요. 이거 음반 안 줬으면 선택지가 없지 않았을까?
Yes, there
Ooh.
was a church in there. A
대박.
really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also, that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The
이번은 좀
song itself is very quiet and soft, but
상처 입은
you
멘트지.
sounded like a winded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
상처 입은 멘트지. 미안해 배웠고 이거 한번
Then
하죠.
you started screaming and trashed the place.
오케이.
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It
그냥
sounded like someone was trashing their room.
그냥 술 취해서 때려 부쉈다는 얘기.
A window was smashed. A tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
또 다른
There
무슨-
was. I think you screamed that you
오.
didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it.
오케이.
Glad to have been of assistance.
정말 밤새 많은 일이 있었구만. 끝내기. 오케이. 이거는 그냥 뭐 그거고. 태 맞나? 강조 표시? 오케이. 이거 한번 보죠. 풍자심은 트럼프 르몽드의 주말판이다. 저 내려갑시다. 여기가 식당 1층이고 이 사람이 제 동료인 것도 알고 있어요. 이 사람 이름 킴 키츠락인가? 아마 그럴 거야. 계단 누르면 올라갈 테니까 일단 이거 다 보고 가죠. 동절기에 막아놓는 하절기 출입문이다. 가사집이 놓여있을 곳이다. 오케이, 노래 부르길 기다리고 있다. 스피커는 라디오에 연결되어 있다.
You should totally say.
뭐야 이거 내면서 얘구나.
The first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed.
아니 지금 노래를
People need to
부르자고?
know your vast oceanic soul.
내 가창력을 끝내주지.
Utterly. And it needs to be heard. Through a PA system.
지금 부르다고?
By other people.
생각을 꺼내다. 아직은 아니야. 숙취 해소하고 나서 불러야지. 메뉴는 깨끗하게 지어져 있다. 아 이거 잠깐만. 어제는 메뉴가 여성의 필체로 적혔었습니다. 오늘은 남성 필체입니다. 이거 뭐야? 노사패드. 아 체력 회복하는 아이템이네. 좋습니다. 예, 13시까지 직원에게 주방 예약됨. 누군가가 일하고 있다. 안쪽에 노조의 비품 누린 파업 선동 포스터, 적색 삼각기가 흙이 보인다. 조합원 예약 식당 16시부터 개방. 플러그가 빠져있다. 일단 맞아 이 사람이 중요하기 때문에 얘한테 들어가보죠.
A bespectacled man
팀
in an
키치라기
orange bomber jacket is tapping
저의
his foot on the
동료입니다.
floor.
동료 맞나?
Looks
사실
like
정확한 관계를
he's
모르겠어.
waiting for someone. You.
You. It's you.
As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. On the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white rectangles as on your blazer.
이게 제가 몇 회차를 할지 모르겠지만 물론 다 회차를 하면은 선택지에 다 가겠지만 일단 제가 원하는 대로 가겠습니다. 악수.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name.
야 이름을 지어낸다는 조금 그렇지. 심지어 적색 판정이기 때문에 이거는 그냥 나도 이름을 좀 몰라 라고 해야 하는 게 좋겠죠. 이름을 지어낸 건 지어냈다가 거짓말인 거 알면은 쉽지 않아.
Okay then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager?
아직 얘기 안 나눠봤는데?
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
저 남자 말인가? 아주 제대로 이야기했지.
Then we should ask him for a rundown of the area.
솔직하게
Getting
하시죠.
up to
솔직하게
speed.
하시죠.
I understand the scene is out back, right?
근데 아까 그 여기 건물 뒤편에 목 매단 사람이 있었다고 아까 그랬죠. 그 오라쉘 사람이.
It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews?
아니 나 모르는데 정리 못했는데 무슨 탐문 자료지? 너무 솔직하게 하면 또 안 좋지 않나요? 일단
At
하죠.
the 57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Maybe it's not an inter-district practice.
모든 관할서 간 행해지는 관리는 아니었던 것 같군요.
Right. And the interviews?
정리 못했는데.
Okay. We'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case.
난 정리했는지 안 했는지 몰라.
Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
이봐 그래. 완벽하게 정리해도 좀 난 시체가 싫어. 시체 말이가.
So, the body is still in the tree, where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
우리가 뭘 하기로 했었지? 3, 4번이 내가 진짜 경찰이 아니면 어쩔 거지는.
We all feel that way sometimes. There is
Oh,
no such
okay.
thing as a police officer, I'm afraid. What remains is that there is a dead body in the tree. Someone has to figure out who put it there. If we don't, no one else will.
우리가 하지 않으면 아무도 안 할 테니까요.
And then, soon after, dead bodies would be dangling from all the trees.
저런.
But first, we have to take it down. I was sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the citizens' militia on your sleeve and on your back. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going to set those possibilities aside. I'm not from the Inspectorate General.
오케이.
Inspectorate General means internal affairs. What he's saying is, he's not from the rat squad and isn't supposed to suspect such things.
최대한 말을 조심하게 하겠습니다.
Yes, but I'm not them. I'm from criminal investigation.
Okay.
Yes. They're not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of Revachol West.
오, 똑똑해.
I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage. But again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do your job.
오케이. 내게 신분증 같은 게 있어야 하지 않나?
You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I would advise you to locate it as quickly as possible. But getting the body down should still take precedence.
오케이.
I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. But I have seen officers go through worse. Much worse. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But as I said, the dead body should be our number one concern.
일단은 그러면은
Talk to the manager. Then we go out back and take the body down.
이걸 하죠. 매니저와 먼저 이야기합시다.
After you, officer.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party. You can talk to him whenever by interacting with him.
오케이. 신발 찾아야 되는데. 나 신발 어디? 나 신발 찾고 싶은데. 신분증 분실 보고 식당 매니저 탐문 피해자의 시신 조사. 오케이. 매니저 얘겠지?
A man in his late 20s with a thin, unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
어차피 탐문 조사니까 얘는 프로페셔널하게 엽시다.
Mr. Gart, right? You run this place.
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41.
파멸의 전령이다. 지목합시다.
Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the dead body. It was you who placed the call, yes?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
신고를 한 건 아마 실비일 겁니다. 오케이.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
오케이.
This sounds like something you can use to call this Sylvie later.
오케이.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No. I
Martinez.
live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many, many cafeterias I manage.
오케이.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
전 여기서 다시 일할 생각은 조금도 없습니다.
I didn't imply that. Detective,
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions.
그래, 지금 내가 맞지.
His face expresses profound doubt.
아니,
You're having
선택지의
this.
상태가? 차라리 침묵이 나왔을 수도.
Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him.
이걸 하죠.
People give up information in the more innocuous question, which you can later use in the more sinister ones, not vice versa.
시체는 어디 있지 물어봐야죠.
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
This man means the heavy cavalry of the innocents Franco-Negro, sweeping over the plains and nations of the enemies of mankind, 5th century style. Unified currency and the concept of cool came in their wake. They wore lamella and carried guns. But first and foremost, Franco-Nigerian heavy cavalry was really, really wide. That hole in the fence must be enormous.
이거 걘데 그 스피드 웨건이네. 스피드 웨건. 누가 죽였지?
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
내가 할 일이야.
This is it.
자네가 죽였나?
He said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they, if he doesn't know?
그놈들 그러네. 그러면은
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers. That it was a lynching.
항만 노동 조합원들 짓이라는 소문이 돌더군요.
The locals, the customers, the people who eat here, a lot of dock workers eat here. Sylvie told me everyone knows the dock workers did it.
그러니까 항만 노동자들이 일종의 처형을 했다 이런 느낌이네요.
Did the debarders themselves tell her this, or is it a rumor?
I don't really know. You'll have to ask her. I would suppose it's because they have nothing better to do.
You mean the strike?
파업이 있군요.
Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbour company, I hear. A mercenary. The unionistas probably thought they'd send a message.
항만 회사의 보안 요원. 노조 측에서 뭔가 메시지를 보내려 했나 보죠. 오케이. 이거는 안 물어볼게요.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook he's been scribbling in.
자네 실비가 떠난 이유가 뭐지? 이거는 말하지 않았니? 실비... 아 뭐야 위에 대화 없었네? 자네는 다타동인가?
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
알았어.
I hope it is.
Let's go.
오케이.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
그쪽한테는 오케이. 레알이 뭐지?
Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR,
Okay.
or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve
아, 오케이.
currency.
단위가 레알이군. 오케이.
Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money.
나중에 빚을 졌다는 소리군.
Wow, you're a genius. Yes, that's right. Money. You owe this establishment 130
야,
real.
널 체포한다. 이건 좀 내가 뭘 빚었지?
Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60
아,
real.
너 돈 안 냈어?
Then
나
there's the
무선
window you annihilated. The hole in the
이런.
window was the first thing I saw when I came to work. So don't try to tell me you didn't. That will be 40 real in damages.
아니, 나 무선 취식을 하고 있는 사람이었네.
Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and order of Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals 130 real. And yes, real is still money.
아, 안 되겠다. 돈이란 게 정확히 뭐지?
What are
철학으로
you, a
가자.
philosopher?
그럴지도 모르지.
Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room or 8 bottles of potent blend and 9 packs of Royal Extra. We use it for everything, really.
나한텐 돈이 전혀 없다고 하면
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets
Oh,
of
뭐야.
his orange
돈
bomber.
대신 내주니?
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if
없다.
he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by tonight, then...
그땐
Officer, maybe you're better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away.
내 집이 어딘지 기억이 안 나. 근처에 머물 수 있는
Officer, you really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car. Call them. Ask for assistance. We have to get this investigation started now.
이 정도로 문제 있으면 그냥 내 맘대로 하면 되지 않을까?
Good luck.
이 정도면 손해배상.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank.
내 집 어디 있음?
And this place sure isn't it. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere.
가까이서 저버리.
In time or space.
둘 다.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
난 불황 경찰이라고.
Entertain the thought
Ooh.
when you get the time. Maybe being a hobo and a cop has its advantages.
뭐야? 뭔가 얻었는데? 잠시만. 이게 뭐지? 불황 경찰. 불황 경찰 일시적인 연구 보너스로 -1 평정. 근데 이거 내면을 하면 어떻게 되니? 생각으로 얻는 -1 평정. 근데 잠깐만. 일단 뭐 해보죠. 모르겠네. 에이, 너한테 대화 걸 수 있나?
Yes? What
사건의
do you
말이야.
want to know? Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a bit.
일단
Then you are not that far
사건에 관해서.
behind, actually. Do you want me to brief you?
오케이.
3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
오케이.
A security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth.
와일드 파인즈사에 고용된 보안 요원이나 노동자라고 합니다.
They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
아까 노동조합이 진짜 경찰이란 얘기를 했었죠. RCM은 뭐지?
That's us. The Revachol Citizens
RCM이 우리군.
Militia.
맞아요.
We're the police in this city.
The RCM, or the Revachol Citizen Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM operates within a legal twilight, yet its authority is rarely questioned. It's super useful to know this.
오케이. 그렇군. 이제 다 알겠어. 이제 다
Just
알겠어.
to be clear,
Oh.
we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer.
Okay.
That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
이거죠. 우리는 서로 다른 관할서 출신인데 왜 같은 사건을 받고 있는 거지?
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a
그
pissing competition.
찌질한 경쟁 말입니다.
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it.
이봐, 난 기억 상실증에 걸렸다고.
Better still than an imbecile cop-off.
땅 따먹기.
It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim.
그래.
Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case?
이제 불가사의한 사건을 생각하나?
No, it's not a particularly mysterious case.
오케이, 그러면 됐어.
The
딱히
lieutenant
진짜.
adjusts his collar. It doesn't look like he wants the case to be more mysterious.
오케이. 필요한 건 다 들었습니다. 오케이. 2번 확실하게
No
해두죠.
response. He just arches his brow.
젠장.
He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
예.
A moment passes. The lieutenant glances at the sports watch on his wrist.
오케이. 시체 조사하러 가보자. 근데 내 신발 못 봤는지 이 사람한테 좀 얘기 좀 해봅시다.
The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, used on everything from pinball cabinets
아니,
to full flavor.
이런 걸 생각할 수 있다고? 특별한 점
Clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it.
자, 왕과 지나가버린 세계를 떠올리니 꽤 매력적인데.
The sentiment is called anti-centennial nostalgia.
금세기
Pining
이전
for a
향수.
time before the turn of the century.
이거 진짜
It's
있는
common
용어인가?
even now, after
네.
50 years.
흥미롭군요. 범죄식물 관찰하면 누구인가? 관할소의 초기 시체 검사가 끝난 뒤에 뭔지 물어보기. 오케이. 시체 조사하러 가봅시다. 이 사람한테 내 신발 봤는지 물어봐야 돼. 내 신발 찾아야 돼 이제.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
아니 하인간이다 하인간.
Why, you are, officer.
어쩌면 그럴지도.
And have you found anyone to be sweet to?
아니 요즘엔 짝짓기 의식에는 관심이 없습니다. 이게 무슨 지금은 또 있었지만
What was with that fucking wink?
아니 씨.
I see you are still grieving. Well, I won't pry.
어.
You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
오케이.
I'm Lena. My husband
Lena
Morel
씨.
and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew.
당장
Hire
고용하죠.
her on the spot.
아니 뭔 소리야? 잡탕 멤버가 뭐죠?
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
착한 사람인 것 같아서 저랑 엮이면 안 될 것 같아요. 신발이 없어졌다. 젠장. 어떻게 나가지? 오케이. 경찰 업무는 고됩니다. 휴식을 취하세요. 일단 사건 조사부터 하고 방금 일어났으니까. 얘 이쪽도 기억나. 이쪽에 시체가 있다는
You
것도 알고
see a
있습니다.
set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
이거 해볼까? 이거 해보죠.
The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago.
그러니까
It's a
이렇게 갔다
message
거지.
written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager.
그 다음엔
The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
차가 사건과 관련 있을까?
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them separate.
그러니까 이게 굳이 나도 그렇게
You
생각해.
could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went, if you find the time.
오케이. 시체 수사. 시프트 누르면 뛸 수 있군. 시간을 조락할 수 있어. 여기가 그 시체군요. 인간이 부패하고 있다. 일단 성인의 몸무게는 견딜 수 없을 것입니다. 이거 뭐야? 마그네슘. 아이템 여기 있나? 0.2 레알. 지금 나 지금 얼마 있냐? 나 지금 얼마 있어? 6% 달성. 오케이. 백과사전 6. 읍스. 저장하죠? 이거 주기적으로 저장을 해줘야 저처럼 2시간 플레이 진행사가 잃는 일을 방지할 수 있습니다. 한번 보죠.
The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils.
아니 나 있네 2인데? 야 14면 무조건 실패하는 거 아니냐?
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
근데 지금 토하면 좀
He's about to blow. Cop's gonna blow, Kuno.
근데 사건 조사 좀 해야 되니까.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
이거 뭐죠?
Maybe more than
성공.
12. No. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud.
오케이 성공했으니까 분석해보죠.
1. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 46.
이렇게까지 정확하게 분석할 수 있다고? 그래도 형사가 뭐야?
2. Standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 44. 3. Hobnailed work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 43. 4. Standard work boot. Number 45 or 46. You don't know. It's a miracle you can tell the prints apart as it is. The cold must have preserved them. 5. Another standard work boot. Steel reinforced toes. Number 44. 6. An aberration, light as air, even pace, same make of boot, but number 41.
뭐지? 성별을?
Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped.
이거 이렇게 생각하면은 바로 제비함. 나머지도 세워야 돼.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot. Number 46. But the imprints are twice as deep as the others.
이자의 무게는
The
200kg을
weight
넘는다고.
exceeds 200 kilograms.
드드.
8. And yet another standard work boot. Number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole, however. The right sole is smoother, more worn.
그러면 이 사건에 최소 8명이 연루되어 있다는 뜻이겠죠. 8켤레가 있으니까.
How many?
400만.
I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do
원시구나.
you see anything out of the ordinary?
뭐 3개 다 할 수 있나?
A woman or a kid?
확신할 수는 없는 것 같고.
Understood. Anything else? 200? Could it be the combined weight of two people, one carrying the other?
아,
Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built, soon-to-be-dead man.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is
그러니까
unlikely.
극도로 비만인 사람일 수도 있어. 자,
Possibly, yes.
오케이.
But why?
왜 이들은 피자를 업어야만 했을까라고 생각하고 있지?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows.
피해자는 아마 의식이 없었겠지. 의식이 없었으면은 간이 들 것을 쓰면 되죠.
You have a point
Yeah.
there. Anyway, it's something to consider. What else can you see?
요거.
Interesting. Let's name it the odd soul. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal, like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer?
드라마.
A drummer only uses their right foot for the kick drum. You're right, it's stupid.
사실 뭐 진짜 들어볼 수도 있어.
Perhaps it could be a driver.
오.
The driver would wear the right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
오.
He doesn't seem to hear you, looking south toward the traffic jam instead. The machines are silent. The engines are all turned off.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no?
신중한 생각 같지 않습니까? 교통정체가 발생한 지역을 주시하면서 잠재적인 용의자가 나타날지 잘 살펴보는 게 좋겠습니다. 신중한... 그래.
A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
오케이.
It is not impossible.
그걸 어떻게 알지?
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last one day.
그러니까 뭐 말이 되죠. 이거 발자국 남기고 얼면은 그대로 남으니까 발자국이.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
일주일 전이라는 걸 쓸 수도 있습니다.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed, they all stood in a row
일렬로서서.
here and looked at the tree. Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over, hoisted him up, watched him hang. This is easy.
Easy. GG?
The lieutenant's eyes narrow.
Either way,
뭐야.
what else?
다른 거는 여기서 볼 일은 끝났습니다. 다른 걸 찾긴 해야 될 텐데 시체를 끌어내려야 되지 않을까? 잠깐만.
Yes?
잠깐만. 경위에 대해 얘기하고
Yes.
싶은데 이거 하죠.
Me?
그래 너.
I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know?
4번 하죠.
What do you mean?
자네가 생각할 때 말이야 뇌 같은 거랑 대화해본 적 있냐? 이거 약간 50%의 사람들은 약간 자기 머리에서 나는 목소리를 들을 수 없다라는 사실을 들은 적이 있거든요. 근데 되게 신기했습니다. 저는 그 반대거든요. 저도 항상 제 머릿속에서 나는 목소리와 이야기합니다.
I have no idea what
TMI.
you're talking about.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary.
허접색. 그러면 그건 어떻게 하고 있나? 머리 옆을 두드린다.
I can't say that it does, no. When I need to think, I just use my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. We all have our different mediums. His is written.
경계 방식은 글쓰기고.
That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My
Seoul.
father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic.
세월이 뭐죠?
It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting.
난 처음 듣는 얘기니까.
Seoul is a protectionist, isolationist, pan-Isolari state west of the Insulindian Isola. Actually, it's quite interesting. Some would even say mysterious.
나중에 친해지면 더 얘기해주죠.
I can see you're disappointed. You are right to be. I don't speak a word of Seolite.
아
I've
뭐야?
never met either one of my grandparents. I've never been to Seoul. I'm a regular garden variety of a Chaulière.
세월인 척하는. 저도 DNA 검사하면은 대충 1% 아르헨티나 이렇게 나오지 않을까?
A point of
대충
pride
그런
to
느낌.
him.
심지어 그 점이 자랑스러운 모양이군. 넌 안경을 쓰고
That's
있지.
correct.
You feel a slight urge to put
아니,
the lieutenant
무슨-
down for this.
전설적
But
실패.
you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
무슨 내가 경위를 때릴 리는 없을 거야. 내가 경위를 때릴 거라고 생각을 하는 거야. 이거 성공을 하면
Are they? They are mostly just cumbersome.
비밀을 좀 알려줘.
No.
오, 알겠어.
The lieutenant nods.
Good. Let's change the subject.
사건 내용 다.
What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you
아
again?
브리핑이구나 이거. 알겠어.
There's no reason to wing anything. If you didn't get the brief, that's okay.
나
I did. 3 days ago, the RCM
아니 이거
during
봤어요?
that time. Okay then.
오케이.
Was there anything else you wanted to
이거는
know?
다 들었으니까 넘길게요.
Good. Excuse me? Detective, if I may be frank, you seem to be in a deranged
괜히 물어봤어
state.
이거.
You have trouble remembering things. You've misplaced your badge. I cannot let you act in the name
아,
of the
신분증이
RCM without
없어서
supervision
저도.
until you've regained control of your faculties.
떼쓰죠?
Some you time? This is a police investigation, not a journey of self-discovery. You'll still have your evenings to yourself.
이거 두 개 똑같은 게 아니야? 오케이.
Please do. We wouldn't want your regiment to spill over into the investigation.
형사님의 시기업고.
The lieutenant is pretty sure self-care is just a euphemism for nihilistic binge drinking.
이런 것도 실패하면은 생각 굉장히 부정적으로 빠지는 거 아닐까? 이제 어디 가냐? 저 시체 다시 한 번만 보죠.
There he still is, looking right through you.
야,
With his
이거
white
인내는
eyes. The body
에바야.
below is entirely dedicated
아니,
to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
이건 안 돼. 그냥 가죠. 저 친구는 일단 사건 수사를 좀 하죠. 피해자 시신 조사. 킴의 단파상 무전기로 실비에게 전화를 걸어 그녀가 신고한 것인지 물어보기. 사건 조사를 일단 뭐 아침이니까 12시까지는 12시까지는 뭐야? 사건 조사 해보죠. 저거 뭐야?
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all
야.
the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
나머지 불사버렸다 이거 보죠.
Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work.
초인종
anymore.
눌러보는 거야? 떠나야겠다. 아 뭐야 이거 문이야? 도망쳐. 자루가 있다면 병기를 담을 수 있다. 오케이. 아, 이게 너의 차가 아니니? 이게 너의 차 아니니? 이게 킴이 타고 갔던 차일 거라고 알고 있는데? 아,
Before you
0.2C.
stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery, bearing the number 57. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet.
오케이.
This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. The Caprice Kinema motor carriage.
그 끔찍한 쿠프리 키니마 동력 마차. 쿠프리 키니마 아까 그 여자랑 대화할 때 나온 얘기 아닌가?
In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the
아니,
seat,
잠깐만.
and the soft glow
맞지,
of
맞지.
the fuel preheater gauge. A scent of leatherwork and heavy fuel oils washes over you.
아, 무전기로 전화해서 걸어보죠.
The frequency tableau lights up, and the green button labeled Prime Line glows like a feline eye. And then you hear something.
일단 일해.
The soft
12시까지는 일해야 돼.
purr of electrical kittens. Radio waves cast far and wide over the metropolis. A woman's voice greets you through the static.
여성의 목소리가 잡음을 타고 당신을 맞이한다.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you?
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st precinct here. I'm putting him on.
이거 하죠.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
신분증 잃어버렸다고 얘기하죠.
Under the green prime line, a yellow saved button catches your eye. You wonder what the lieutenant's default radio station is.
아, 이거 2번부터 하죠. 그러면.
Of course. What is the number, officer?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Received. Hold on, officer.
참을성 있게 기다리다.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm with his right foot. Quite a lot of time has passed.
임마 전화 안 받네. 임마 전화 안 받네.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you.
아니네. 드디어 연결됐습니다.
Yes, hello?
오케이. 이거 경찰 이거는 프로페셔널하게 일합시다.
Oh, right.
일단은
Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
수용돌이에서 일을 그만두셨더군요.
You mean why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir.
아, 순서 바꿔서 얘기했어야 했는데 사건 먼저 얘기하고 그 다음에 얘기했어야 했는데.
Why not?
이거는
Maybe, I don't know.
오케이.
No,
뭐.
not me.
경찰에 신고한 사람이 누군지 아십니까?
No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires.
너가 전화한 게 아니니?
People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
그렇구만.
So the Union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
오케이?
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
그러면 이거 물어보죠.
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the court.
경찰에 신고했었어야죠.
No one calls the police. The Union would get angry.
노조가 더 짱이구만.
You know, what the Union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
이거 물어보죠.
Legally, no. In reality, yes. Martinez is de facto policed by the dock workers union.
오케이.
I don't know what to tell you, officer. I didn't call you because I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
오케이.
With the union. I'm sorry about that.
이해합니다.
Yeah, go on.
오케이.
I do hope so. Please don't call me again. Bye.
잠깐만. 공감.
No,
아,
she doesn't have a problem with you.
이런.
It must be someone else she's angry about. Some other guy.
까비.
Like Dart.
분명.
Trust me, you wouldn't want to be the guy here.
아, 이걸 실패하네.
You know how it is. Yak, yak, nag, nag.
약.
No, you're the guy. You're Lieutenant Love, matchmaker extraordinaire. Help the poor girl out.
이게
Unless she
무슨?
turns into a spinster.
엥? 아니, 선택지 상태가? 아니, 너무 실패인데. 1번.
Not a spinster, my God. You have to intervene on behalf of the ethnic nation of love,
아니.
equally of sun and lightning. First, calm her down.
오케이.
Tell her you've got everything under control.
더 참하구만.
Then go have a boys' talk with God himself.
가르트에 가서 남자들의 대화를 나누는 거죠.
Think you can do that, Lieutenant Love?
나는 그런 말 하기 싫어. 이 아빠가 어부발찌개 귀여운 아가야. 아이씨.
You're just a gimp. What? You want to be more empathetic?
Call was terminated by the other party. Anything else, officer?
이제 사실에 관해서
Just a
해보죠.
second, officer.
10-2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over.
The man uses relay code. You got this. You're a cop, and cops know relay code.
긴급한 용무가 있다.
10-4, message received. 10-5, relay message. What's your status? Over. 10-18, state your message, sir.
신분증 분실권에 대한 보고하기다. 이거 합시다.
10-9, over. 10-4, message received. This is a very serious situation. I need to 10-22 the captain. Over.
경감님께 10-22 하겠다.
Is it him? What does he want?
그 자식이에요.
Says he lost his badge and needs to report it.
He what? He lost his badge?
지목하죠.
Who lost his badge? Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
오! 내 이름이야. 딕 멀렌.
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the
Oh.
bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
하하하.
Dick Mullen is not your name.
아, 딕 멀렌
It's
아니야?
the name
아, 오케이,
of
오케이.
a fictional detective who would not lose
까비.
his badge.
내 이름인 줄. 딕 멀렌은 소설 속 형사의 이름이고 자기 신분증을 잃어버린 사람도 아닙니다.
Defend yourself immediately. They're laughing at you.
하하. 정해졌으니 널 비우고 있다고. 이거 해보죠.
He says this has probably happened to other policemen before him and laughs sarcastically.
망했는데? 전혀 통하질 않아.
Oh god damn it. Is he fucking kidding? The whole station's gonna be dicked for this.
이 경찰의 권위가 굉장히 낮군요.
Satellite Officer Vikmar is wondering if you might be joking and adds that this tarnishes the reputation of the entire station. Over.
경찰관 신분증 하나 잃어버린 걸로 서 전체가 망하면 이미 경찰의 권위의 상태가.
Mullen dicked us.
아니 자꾸.
He's asking you to stop. Says this is.
야, 이분 약간 그 조선시대 때 조선시대 때 그 실록 작성하는 사람인데 그만하라고 말하셨답니다. 이걸 적지 말라고 말하셨답니다.
Of course it's serious. He lost his fucking badge.
Satellite Officer Vikmar concurs. Losing your badge is serious. Over.
오케이.
10-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over.
오케이, 경험치는
Fuck
획득했으니까.
me. Mac, come here. You've got to hear this. Dick Mullen lost his badge.
What's going on?
맥돌슨.
Super Cop here lost his badge.
나 슈퍼스타야?
He lost his what now?
어쩌면 인상이네.
His badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
이제 몇 개 더 있으니.
10-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for Captain Sober. Ask him. Ask him if he's lost his gun too.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun too. Over.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't
나한테
know
총이 없다고. 진짜 망했네.
No. It's gone. It's not fucking on you.
10-9, coming officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering about your gun. Over.
이거는 연극하자. 따라. Let's go.
Over the phone, it's easy. Just say it like it's the truth.
그래, 총 사야지.
Then it becomes it.
오케이.
He says he didn't.
Thank God for that. That would have been a nightmare. I don't even want to imagine the poor prick who has to relay that kind of news to the captain. Losing his badge is bad enough. Tell him to find it and fast. We can't have some gangbanger running around with it.
아, 이런. 오케이. 이런 이유 때문이군.
We're all glad to hear you've not lost your gun, officer. You need further assistance?
야, 1번은 진짜 재정전이 절실히 필요하다.
10-4, I hear you. I don't have the authority to grant your request, but...
젠장.
What does he want now?
He's
듣고
asking
있구나.
for money.
Is he fucking kidding?
이걸 듣네.
I don't think he is.
Don't give that asshole anything. He's
젠장.
just gonna drink it all.
안 돼.
Right. That's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over.
이번 수사는 경비를 좀 더 지원해 주시는 게 최우선이에요.
He says it's important to the case.
He isn't getting a red cent. You can tell him that.
젠장.
Request denied, sir. Over.
오케이.
Anything else, sir? Over.
아, 이번 하죠.
Okay, 10-4, sir. I hear you. Relay your question. Over.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. You're going to be looking at a straitjacket if you tell everyone you lost your memory. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone.
아, 오케이.
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question.
가족, 이거 좋다. 5번으로 하죠.
10. Excuse me, sir. Over.
아, 뭐야. 아쉽네.
No, sir, I haven't. You're not really keen on mentioning your home life, so I've always assumed things weren't that good on that front. Over.
앞으로 저 언급할 때 풀네임 넣어서 불러줘요.
10-9, repeat message. I didn't get that, sir. Over.
내 이름 말해.
Sir, I will not have you talk to me in this manner.
안 돼. 선택지 하나밖에 없어.
What? What is it? What can he possibly still want from us?
He seems intoxicated and keeps asking me to call him by his name.
Mullen's drunk and emotionally aggressive. That's new.
Wrap it up. Don't indulge in his drunken antics.
젠장.
Understood, sir. Over.
오케이.
Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
뭐
A metallic drawer
아이템 같은 거
slides out from under the sink
아이템 같은 거 있나 볼까요?
and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
손전등이 낫지 않나? 절단기랑 손전등 가져가 주면 돼?
The handles are long and sleek.
아, 다 가져갈 수 있니?
Snap, snap. Though the cutters in your... You can do good work with these. Cut chains, locks, and ropes, especially belts.
오케이.
The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, heavier than you'd think. Useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids.
자가발전 손전등을 가져갔다.
It's robust, weatherproof, and well-made. Police issue, blue.
오케이.
Lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss.
인출시공간을
The pull-out
다 가져가죠.
toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
이거 보자.
As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
There's no use pressing the heat button. It won't start without the ignition key.
아 오케이.
Translation. We're not going anywhere right now.
우리 지금 아무 데도 안 가. 일단 아이템 가지고 있으니까 저 시체 자를 수 있지 않나? 그러면? 도구. 장비하여 잠긴 상자를 여십시오. 아 그렇군. 아 오른손에 이거를 한 거구나. 이걸 할 수 있군. 왼손에 손전등, 오른손에 요거. 손해배상 이거 했었고. 신분증 찾기. 길 가다 우연히 발견될지도. 이 신분증 좀 찾긴 해야 될 텐데. 좀 아쉽네. 손전등 지금 필요 없을 텐데, 이거. 잠깐만. 손전등 필요 없을 거 아니야. 손전등 빼. 거리 표시판에는 경찰 얘기하고 있다. 거리 이름을 알아볼 수가 없다. 너 잠깐만 너 얘기 좀 하자.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here. That's all.
한번 물어보죠.
Of course. What can I help you with?
길을 좀 물어보려는데.
Of course. Where to? What do you mean? Yes, sir. District of Martinez. This intersection is called Roundabout North.
로터리 북로라고 불려요.
He knows where we are. He just wants directions.
There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really.
Okay.
The harbor gates. Some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet store, too.
프리트 잡화점.
Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Some kind of accident, probably. Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, and a fish market. But that got closed down ages ago.
Okay.
It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay, but they're hard to reach.
고맙네. 지금은 이게 다야.
No problem.
물어보죠.
Me? I am just a gardener. I am working. I have a greenhouse in the yard there. I've been trying to get some work done.
일을 끝내려고 노력하고 있었죠. 그런데
Well, as you probably know, there's a corpse hanging from a tree there.
그 정원 오케이.
It smells pretty bad, so I have to take breaks.
Don't worry, miss. We are here to clean it up. You can get to work soon.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. My head is about to explode from all the salts I've had to inhale.
Salts? Ammonium salts. Perhaps useful for later.
이것도 한번 물어보죠.
Excuse me?
이거.
Oh. Well, I didn't write it there. I'm just sitting here. Okay. Excuse me? Oh.
아 이거는.
Well, I don't know anything about that either. As I said, I didn't write it.
Pig is a widely used term for members of the police. It's not loving.
호감을 담은 단어는 아닙니다.
No need to worry. We are not saying you did.
Okay. Well, I didn't. Of course. I won't hold you back.
If there's a corpse, then you're going to need those gloves for the autopsy.
장갑 좋지.
Sure. Keep them. I have another pair.
감사합니다. 장갑을 끼자. 그 다음에 자르는 게 쇠질했대나. 그 저쪽으로 가면은 다시 시체 쪽으로 가면은 정리를 할 수 있지 않을까? 이런 거.
There he still is, looking right through you with
active decay.
He's about to blow. Cop's gonna blow, Kuno.
해볼까?
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, More instant
Ah.
and more familiar than anything you
실패해버림.
expected. More fever than odor. It fills your mind, flushing you from within.
되나? 아 실패했어. 예. 웩.
Too late. It's impossible to keep in.
똑같은
Your body
선택이죠
curls and
사실상.
pushes it out, burst by burst,
오케이.
until a pool of vomit lies under your feet, and your throat stings
Ew.
from the stomach acid. The smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit.
술 겁나 많이 마셨어. 말만 들어도 너무 많이 마셨어.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it.
고마워.
The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head.
오케이.
That young woman, the gardener, mentioned she used salts for the smell.
아 오케이.
If she doesn't have any, there might be some in the frit store nearby.
프리트 잡화점 있을 겁니다.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
아 오케이. 나중에 다시 와야겠네. 작업을 용이하게 해줄 암모니아를 정원사나 프리트 상점에서 구하기. 이거부터 하죠. 팔 수 있네 이걸? 드드. 아무리 그래도 저걸 판다고. 일단 사건에 집중을 해보자. 정원사님, 정원원님
It's
한판
raining
해요.
again. It was clear just an hour ago. Sure, I'm done with them. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
어딨어? 암모니아 앰플 이거구나. 장비할 필요가 없습니다. 소지품에 가지고 있기만 하면 됩니다. 그리고 오케이 이거 찾았고 생각 아직 41%. 분황경찰. 여기서 다시 가면은 이거 할 수 있나? 다시
There he still is, looking right through you.
와
With his
이래도
white eyes,
8%인데.
The body below is entirely dedicated to
8%
that
딱 들어.
smell. Emitting it is all it
딱 들어.
does now. The ammonia only makes it worse.
진짜.
The second time,
아.
not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
안돼. 안 그래도 술병 있는데.
Nor does the wind right now. I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder.
아니 2, 3, 4는 너무 너무 디스토피아적인데? 일반 하죠.
I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, baguette. Then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough.
Oof.
I think I've lost my sense of smell.
A white lie.
오.
Not being hungover helps too.
술을 안 마신 것도 도움이 되었습니다. 실사해.
No. This is a two-man assignment because it needs 2 officers to complete. I need your help.
아 그렇군.
You need to get your shit together.
알겠어.
We should go talk to the locals.
Oh.
Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
정신머리 과업 농축기. 내면화? 이것도 내면화 하죠. 내면화 하면 뭐가 좋은지는 사실 잘 모르겠긴 했는데 아무튼 결론 잠깐만. 문제만 있고 결론만 있으면 계속 마침 한 김에 빠른 소상 하십시다. 뜨거. 스킬 체크. 계속.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet and internalize it with special bonuses and effects.
Give it half an hour.
Okay.
Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
30분 뒤에 돌아와서 또 다시 해보기. 정신머리 구합 농축기 생각 장착하고 완료하기. 오케이. 이거를 지금 하고 있으니까. 그러면은 좀 이따 다시 돌아오죠. 그리고 암모니아 하나 더 구해서 그것까지 가지고 있다 옵시다. 그러면은 프리트 상점 가야 되는데. 프리트 상점이 어딨지? 아, 이거 걸렸어. 화물차에서 나온 물건들이 주변을 막무가내로 어지럽히고 있다. 동절기는 났습니다. 지도 있나? 나 지도가 없네. 레바쇼에 온 걸 환영한다. 아, 프리츠 여기니? 이거는 뭐로 쓰인 거야? 아, 프리트 오타님 여기네. 티읕 받침이라니. 와, 뭐야 이거? 어떻게 번역을 어떻게 한 거지? 여기가 이제 시위하는 곳이겠군. 구사대 새끼 아니쇼? 난 여기 올라오고 싶지 않았는데.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
일단은 가봅시다. 난 여기 올라가고 싶지 않은데 내려가죠 다시. 아, 잠깐. 약간 노조의 파업 같은 게 있나 보네요. GRIH. 생각을 한 게 좀 있지 않아? 생각을 한 게 있었던 것 같은데. 원래 화물차 연료를 여기 보고 알지만 지금은 술이 들어있다. 갈 곳이 진짜 많구만. 일단 여기로 가죠. 프리트 상점. 야, 진짜 넓다. 일단 암모니아 하나 삽시다. 저것도 한번 보고.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
아, 그렇군. 이거 병 모아서 여기다 오면은 돈으로 환전해주는 기계다.
Oh, that's the tear machine.
오케이. 확인해보죠.
It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money.
돈 좋지.
You need a bag, I guess. We used to have
뭐야.
some, but
봉지
we
없어?
gave them all out, so...
아쉽다.
Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some.
밖에 있어?
Out there.
오케이.
Somewhere.
이거 보죠. 이거 보고
You
저거
see
하겠습니다.
several packaged raincoats fill a low shelf beneath a display of croissants and juice bottles. The raincoats are transparent, except for the big Fritta slogan on the back.
프리트.
The packages are small, discreet, sloppily stacked, making them easier to take unnoticed. No
이거
need to worry about knocking over it.
사야지 아무래도.
What is what? It's a raincoat.
우이.
If you want to
비옷,
buy
비옷.
one, then it's only 4 real.
Her attention is drawn to the raincoats. Stealing one undetected will now be more.
아, 이게 무엇인지 물어봤기 때문에 더 낫군. 오케이, 떠난다. 어차피 훔칠 생각 없었습니다.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles,
암모니움
nasal sprays,
찾다.
and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo. Their logo is the bloodless rose, pure white, untouched by harm.
오케이.
Just ask
Oh.
me if you need anything from St. Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
암모니아 있나?
Yeah, there's like an ampule somewhere.
그 플러스 3 사기, 플러스 1 사기, 플러스 3 체력, 플러스 1 체력. 오케이. 이거 뭐죠?
A colorful display of cigarettes and
아, 전
alcohol
담배구나.
bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. Your knees are weak.
무릎에 힘이 빠집니다.
There, in that dark green glass,
하디.
all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol.
아, 와인 맛있겠다.
Love, alcohol.
일단 넋을
The beauty, the truth, the
넋을 놓고
poetry of
바라보기.
it all.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health, but I guess you already know that.
너한테 뭐 물어보자 그러면.
Welcome to Frit. Feel free to look around or something. Everything is out on the shelves.
What's that magazine she's reading?
어, 오케이.
Okay. I'm not really supposed to be chatting to anyone, but
시체?
I don't really know anything. I mean, I know it's there, but I haven't seen it, so
알고 있었나?
not really. No. I didn't know him at all.
오케이,
I
이거
don't
뭐죠?
know really long. I don't know.
No need to worry. It's just standard procedure for us to ask around. If you
뭐
hear
우리
anything, let us
경찰이니까
know, okay?
물어보긴 해야지.
Okay. Uh-huh.
일단은 봉지 가지고 오죠. 아, 이 아무리 안 파네. 젠장. 쓰레기통 뒤져보자. 여기 뭐 있니? 이것도 뭐 있네. 마그네슘. 마그네슘이야. 개꿀인데. 나이스한걸. 저거는 갈 수가 없는데. 돈 나이스. 일단 있으니까 물어보죠. 안녕하세요.
Welcome to Rivachol.
그냥 가자 하죠. 아, 한번 대화나 해볼까요?
Welcome to Rivachol.
대화나 해볼까요?
Don't you welcome to Revachol me.
오.
My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago.
약간 자신의 가족들에 대해서 뭔가 있나 보군요.
Every school of thought and
약간
government
철학이
has
있어.
failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
지목합시다 일단. 나중에 물어보죠.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain
레바숄
self-determination.
민족에 천착할수록 레바숄이 실질적 독립을 쟁취하기 어려워질 것이라는 의미다. 그냥
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Rivachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here. But I
약간
should watch
이
myself
나라와 관련해서
and
좀
behave.
더 알긴 해야 될 것 같은데 아직 모르겠습니다.
But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
뭐 알겠어.
Silence. The air between them becomes
말량했다.
tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Whatever you say, officers.
Officers.
He smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar content cigarettes, probably Astra Whites.
이거 논쟁은 언급하지 맙시다.
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
화물차 기사.
The strike? Oh, they've been at it for a while. A month, 2 months maybe. But this here is just the last week or so. Apples.
사과.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
사과.
Yeah, apples. I take it you had other questions? Oh, not much anymore. Apples.
Apples.
Look, as detective. I come from a long line of lorrymen. We got ancient rights and privileges.
Privileges.
Oh, I'm here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man. Just regular Koiko picked apples.
아, 오케이. 인정합니다.
Koiko may be another derogative for a person from Grad.
아, 그렇군.
Yep, it's one of their main exports. They grow them down South Yekokata. A beautiful place. Got great scenic vistas.
In fact, Yekokata is a desolate wasteland whose name literally translates to Zone of Ecological Catastrophe. It features no scenic vistas and supports virtually no plant or animal life.
어? 수상해?
Yeah? Says who? Then, I guess they grow apples somewhere else. You can never really tell with those koikos. They're everywhere, except their
Koiko.
own homes.
고이코라고 하는데 그게 뭘 의미하는
He
거지?
means the people living in Grad.
Yeah, you know, Gradniks, Gradvolk. Those degenerates from Grad.
여기 사람들은 되게 다른 나라 사람들을 싫어하니? 오케이.
Cause that's what they're all called. Koiko Pichik, Loslav Koiko, Koikovich someone. Low self-esteem, those guys have. Mind you, they look Occidental, but they're not really like
우리
us.
사람들과는 다른 족속들이다.
Hey, if the name and description fit by the very grace of nature, who am I to say otherwise?
알겠네 그럼.
Apples. Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter, had a royal license and everything. We've tried to hold on to our privileges.
집마차군.
Sure fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very ancient. Very prestigious.
다른 머시기까지 다 가졌지. 일종의 노동조합 비슷한 건지 물어볼게요.
Hell no. It's a guild. Invitation
길드다.
only.
오케이.
Unions work for the rich fucks. They're basically the same. Been trying to fuck us out of our heritage in the name of profit, but you can't replace experience.
그렇구만.
Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of practice and no laughing matter.
오케이. 아유, 너한테 좀 보자.
Yes? What about me? Good.
뭐 딱히 또 없네. 저 위로 올라갈 수가 없네. 어디로 가지? 봉지 같은 게 있으면 딱 좋은데. 이건 뭐냐?
This Postlavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito.
아, 기회가 나 신분증 찾았으면 좋겠다.
Reveals 2 bullet holes in the front.
탄은 2개가 보인다.
A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk.
야, 둘 다 이상해.
102 with a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant.
둘 다 이상해. 떠나자. 둘 다 하고 싶지 않아. 이게 무슨 행동이야 저게. 요거는 책가게 서점인가 보네요. 파테 요리. 네, 다 보죠. 정부가 무선 기술로 당신의 생각을 읽는다는 책. 이거 돈 내야 되나? 아, 오케이. 돈을 내긴 해야 되겠군. 쓰레기통 이런데 잘 뒤져보면은 뭔가 좋은 게 있을 거예요. 그러니까 아, 자루만 있으면은 딱 좋은데. 자루 없나? 자루? 아, 오케이. 저거 뭐야? 벽에 타는이 1년 나와있다. 저거 가져가도 되나? 일단 야 2.28이면은 굉장히 돈 많이 벌었는데. 대박. 저거 당장 줘. 아, 이거 그거네.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle. while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary.
25센팀?
Why place a tourist attraction in the
이거구나.
middle of such poverty?
There was a revitalization project in 49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick.
아니 돈 없는데 이런 거 하지 말자.
They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection. Then something went sour. I suspect that something was Eva Clark, the union leader. He muscled them out. That's how it usually goes around here.
저는 그 뭔가가 노조 위원장 에브라트 클레어라고 생각합니다.
We should have done something about the union 10 years ago. That ship has sailed, officer.
너무 늦었구만. 요거를 집죠? 병죽기 돈 내놔. 저기에도 이거 뭐야? 이거 뭐야? 쓰레기 다 주워버리지. 야, 난 부자야 이제. 나는 쓰레기를 줄 것이다. 환경미화원. 아까 오는 길에도 쓰레기통 하나 있었죠? 그거 하고 일단 어딨냐? 저기 있지. 일단 다 줍자. 모두 가지기. 이러고 아니 저쪽으로 갑시다. 다시 이거 들고 가서 저기다 팔자. 이것도 팔 수 있니? 줄 수 있네 이거. 오케이. 공병을
The machine stands in the corner. A sign says 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
병 많이 주웠는데.
Your bottles clunk into the machine.
생각보다 많이 안 벌었네.
With a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
나 부자야 이제. 4.11.
Volumetric ship compressor.
성공했네. 생각을 사고 하면
Scientific news from Rivershore West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit singularity lasts.
오케이. 이제 다시 조사를 해볼까? 그래서 너의 모든 인내 백색 판정이 해제됨. 인내 스킬 레벨 제한이 4로 상향됨. 좋습니다. 그러면은 이제 다시 피해자 시신 조사를 그대로 할 수 있겠군. 아주 좋습니다. 아주 좋다. 그리고 나는 부자다. 그럼 다시 저거 조사하러 가보죠. 이제 다시 방금 뭐였지? 방금 레바쇼 발음 나왔는데 저거 다시 들어볼걸. 일단 이거 치우고 일단 돌아가자. 이 꼬마애랑 대화해볼까? 일단은 이거 이제 그대로 성공할 수 있는 거 아니?
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
이제 72%.
Ha ha ha.
예이씨.
Again, the
이걸
corpse
실패한다고?
laughs at you, pus dripping from its mouth. You will never be able to hold it in. It's always too much.
다시 구역질에 올라오는 게 느껴진다.
Every time it happens, it gets
세
worse
번째
and worse.
실패.
There's nothing more to throw up now.
까비.
All that's left is crying and convulsing dryly at the same time.
또 실패했어.
The lieutenant is clearly at a loss.
Officer, you just need to be stronger. Learn to keep it in long enough for us to work. There's nothing else to do.
오케이.
You can open this white check again by going to your character sheet and spending a skill point to upgrade your endurance. Gain new skill points by exploring and completing side tasks.
스킬 포인트를 인내 스킬에 투자하면 이 백색 판정을 다시 시도할 수 있습니다.
Maybe it's okay if you don't make it today. The dead man isn't going anywhere.
Okay.
And there's always other things to do.
젠장. 인내 여기에다가 이제 스킬을 투자를 해야 된다 뜻이죠. 일단 뭐 그럼 뭐 주변 둘러봐야 되는 거 아님? 일단 요거 한번 볼까? 하늘에서 내리는 빛. 잠깐만. 이걸 열 수 있니? 아 맞아. 이거 열었어. 이거 열 수 있는 게 있었어. 맞아.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says whirling in rags.
너무 이거 아까 열쇠 얻은 거 열면 되지 않니?
The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
차라리 그치. 쓰레기 냄새가 훨씬 낫지 않나?
We could try using a pry bar, the one you took from my motor carriage, or
아니면
we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
He might also have information. This is better than the pry bar idea.
세지레떼를 쓰면 되겠는데? 다시 들어.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says whirling in rags.
나 세지레떼 갖고 있는데. 되나?
Force time isn't happening. You've jammed the pry bar under the lid, but it just isn't bending.
이거는 열쇠
Let's
가져옵시다.
ask the manager for the key. This is clearly not working.
이거 열쇠 가져옵시다. 아무튼 근처에 있긴 하니까. 뭐 저 열쇠는 주라고 하면 주지 않을까? 일단 들어가죠. 대부분의 사람들은 21시에 잠이 든다고? 굉장히 빠르군. 일단 매니저에게 다시 가서 안녕하세요.
Can I help you?
소용돌이에서 뭔가 발견했는데 잠깐만.
What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union,
okay.
thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction.
저런.
They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
돈도 제때 내거든요.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later.
오늘
Men get hungry, even striking men.
16시에 나타나지 않나?
They'll be here tomorrow.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got.
그냥 알고 계신지 확인하는 것뿐입니다. 정말 개쩌는군.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Okay.
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it?
이 느낌은
Something
뭘까?
stirs in you.
뭐지?
Prod at him and find out.
아, 이거 하죠.
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
오케이. 바로 들어가자. 아, 이거는 못 들어가네. 그리고 여기서 봤던 게 잠깐만. 한 16시에 그게 있다고 아까 말하지 않았니? 일단 들어가서 쓰레기통 열어보기. 요거 열 거야. 오케이.
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
아니야, 계속 열어.
Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This
당연히
is your time
열어야지.
to shine.
이걸 안 열어?
Dive into that dumpster for extra content.
뚜껑을 연다.
The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
이거 인내 찍자. 잠깐만. 잠시만요. 이거 지금 인내 찍고 레벨업? 인내 찍고 저거 하죠. 이제 찍을 수 있는 거 이거밖에 없네. 백과사전이 6이라니. 스킬 포인트, 이게 경험치를 100을 찍으면은 스킬 포인트를 하나만 달성할 수 있구나. 오케이. 일단 이거 보죠.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
You see milk
일단
and egg
하나씩
rest with
봅시다.
one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows. The methodology in your fingers. You're used to this.
이런 거 익숙한다고?
No, searching for evidence in the trash.
아하.
Good practice for dumpster diving.
오케이.
A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however.
근데 목소리 너무 좋다. 이 나레이션 너무 섭외를 잘했어.
Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye.
데님 바지?
A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
이것이 바로 뉴진스의 반대 올드 트라우서입니다. 푸하하.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased,
피해자의 옷.
they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay.
오케이.
Drop them in here, officer.
바지를 봉지에 넣는다.
Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or empty. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there?
벨트가 없어졌다.
I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye.
손에 뻗는다.
A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste.
Okay.
Just garbage.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
소용돌이는 누군가가 관련했다고 생각하니까 보자.
Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and this establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
꼬마들에게 안 물어보고 싶은데 이거 너무 그래. 일단은
The fuck's he on about? Kids?
오케이. 바로 물어보기.
Kuno. He thinks you're an infant or something.
히히.
See?
그러지.
The lieutenant nods.
보셨습니까?
Looks back into the trash container.
Okay.
It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels mostly. Unidentified sludge and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey. What's this?
뭐지? 뭔데?
A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something large. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes. Written in a man's handwriting.
Okay.
Officer, is that your Paperwork?
이게 뭔지
It
모르겠는데.
is. Look.
내
The
거야?
plastic has the RCM street grid.
대박.
on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there.
오케이.
If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
오케이.
Officer, this is an official piece of paperwork. It probably contains notes on
좋습니다.
numerous ongoing investigations and could even list undercover operatives.
그러니까 이거는 보관을 해야 되니까.
I suggest integrating
인정합니다.
it into your style for all our sakes.
우리 모두를 위해서요.
It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable.
아.
Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
이거 다 읽고 봐야겠네. 오케이. 도시 지도 복사본을 아직 획득하지 못했네.
Wow, an Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon.
엥?
Half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny.
제작법 뭐야?
It's a giant rifle. And it's very expensive.
이거 내 거 아니냐?
Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking around the rotten banana peels.
이거 누가 봐도 내 거 아니?
And is that Cordon Electric's
아니,
preamp with
안 주워?
Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're
와,
talking
12,000레알 지금 4.11레알 있는데.
Unless you're into hi-fi yourself.
팔아야겠어.
No, you won't. Because none of those
진짜.
things are real.
뭐야?
They're actually in there.
나한테
All you see
나를
is food waste
속였어.
and crisp wrappings.
오케이.
All you see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. Only in its social sensibility.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
오케이.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
일단은 아이템 보죠. 이거 상호작용 탭이니까 손상된 장부 하나 있고 워커. 잠깐. 소지품에서 상호작용 탭을 보십시오.
It's just a racist
이렇게.
mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
이런 식으로 딱 대화가 있구나.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
이게 무슨 이 컵을 비난함으로써 무슨 이건 사과하죠.
Understood. You're that kind of detective. Why don't
그냥
you get
사건이나
back to your
하시면
case?
근데 손상된 장부 얘랑은 상호작용 해야
It's
될
the
것
ledger
같은데.
you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
오케이. 또 더 있나? 또 더 있니?
There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper.
휴지.
Desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard.
오케이.
It's a metaphor for you.
하나씩 찾아봅시다.
It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
이런 거는 다 회차할 때 해야 될 것 같고 1번 할게요.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better.
오케이. 클리브 조사한다.
An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip.
알루미늄 질러본다.
The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. Looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right
관공서의 마크 같다.
It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there?
경위가 동력 마찰 전조 등에 대해서 뭐라 하지 않았습니까? 이게 그 홀로그램 워터마크?
What? Yes, halogen watermark.
아, 할로겐
forwarding
워터마크.
information to RCM property.
Okay.
It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved.
Oh.
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do.
전조등으로.
Yes, RCM vehicles have headlights tuned especially to reveal halogen.
좀 이따 가야겠다. 좋습니다.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand,
뭐
it's
볼거리다.
a sorry sight. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs.
일단 하나씩 다 조사해 보고 있으니까.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp that
서류.
exclaims,
사건 파일.
"Case files commit to paper."
사건
The case files
파일이랑
themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands.
아하.
They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
Okay.
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are
Jamrock
handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on
한
average.
주에 평균 2개 사건이면 좀 빡세긴 한데.
What do you mean? Is that all?
Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it.
그거 진짜
Lest you
많은데
start
이거.
making mistakes. 2. That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me.
이번이 가장 좋은 반응인 것 같아요.
That's okay. We all do, sooner or later.
늦든 말든.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
잠깐만.
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
이름이 붙어있다.
A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples. Yes, all caps. One is called
All caps.
The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
풀 수 없는 사건.
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the Ukar parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout.
Okay.
It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close. The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a previous volume. In short, there was more.
수첩이 더 있다. Okay.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
거짓말은 하지 맙시다.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
왜 그러는 거지?
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
Oh, yeah.
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the
아,
damage.
덧칠 수 있다.
The
오케이.
checkered grid forms a structure of passages.
야,
breaking the
이게
case into
하얀색 종이만
subtasks
검사했는데
to
이렇게 많이
accomplish.
들어있네. 오케이.
Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete.
작성하죠?
Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It's unfitting of this monumental event.
이 정도면 숙취 깨지지 않았을까? 3시간 지났는데?
The ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do.
이거는 뭐
barely.
팀한테 펜
But
빌리죠.
the lieutenant looks at his blue notebook. 2 fat, shiny pens hang from the binder, like large caliber bullets on an ammo belt. He is not really saying anything, just standing there. Look.
Know that I give this to you with resentment.
아니, 마음에 응어리가 생겼다는 거 알아두십시오.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the blue oblong pen in a brash freehand uncannily similar to the rest of the letters.
일단은
The
기계적으로는
wording
안
comes
좋아하다.
easily. It's almost robotically simple. A language developed for mental rigor and simplicity.
아하.
Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry.
사기 상승 플러스 0도 했는데?
Feels like completion.
이럴 수가. 사기가 0 상승했다.
Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Okay.
No, actually. Any ideas?
맞아?
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking
이거밖에
too.
적당히 없는데?
The Hanged Man. Good strong name.
진짜 트롤하는 거 아니면 이게 맞지 않나? Okay.
I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man.
Okay.
It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
이거 한번 지금 해볼까? 사건 파일 지금 읽을 수 있기. 일단 뭐 지금 해보죠.
Yes,
okay,
you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB41, then date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, why yes, your precinct number is 41.
HDB가 뭐지?
Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it.
나의
And these are your case files.
나의
It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
나의 그거라고? 호루스 데비 베린저. 흐람 다르한 빈자큰.
That is improbable.
제자.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
이거 한번 해보죠. 아까 언급했으니까 3번부터 가봅시다.
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape.
그런데?
That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next?
뭐야 이런
One day
뭐
you may still catch the man with the square gun.
나중에 다시 봅시다.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
이거 너무 시간 오래 걸리니까 일단 집어넣고 나중에 다시 보죠. 시간 날 때 다시 저녁 때 다시 봐도 될 것 같고 일단 요거 다시 체크를 해보자. 이거 할 수 있겠지?
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below
제발
is
되라.
entirely dedicated
이거 안
to
되면
that
망겜.
corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now. As you breathe in,
나이스.
the odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
They do after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
The man before you is naked,
조사
but
해보자.
for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
근데 이건 시즌조사라서 하나씩 다 살펴봐야 될 것 같긴 한데 부츠 보죠.
The material appears to be ceramic.
세라믹
Its
부츠.
clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
갑옷을 신겼다?
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
Okay.
Oh, the lieutenant uses a memo technique, A6. That's not just any notebook. It's a classic.
저 갑옷
It's
이야기해봐.
clearly some manner of super armor or future armor. Super future armor.
초강력 미래형 갑옷. 에라이 모르겠습니다.
Ceramic plate, zirconium dioxide.
산화질코림.
This is where the make would be. Under the heel, fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
생각보다 되게 좋은 장비잖아 이거. 일단 1번부터 하고 2번 할게요.
Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. It would be odd if they didn't. We should keep a lookout for these species.
Okay.
The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
The sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless and synthetic.
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical
대략 얼마
units
정도 하는데?
for a full set, about 4
우와,
years.
4년치 연봉? 너무 비싼데?
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
내 연봉이 5,500리알이라고?
Not too much, yes.
짓거리만 하고.
It's a sorry situation, I agree.
이 사람은 어떻게 그런 비싼 장비를 입을 수 있었을까?
That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions.
보안요원 장비치고는 지나치게 첨단 장비 같은데.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Okay.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above.
아, 떨어뜨릴.
Stop!
Okay.
Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
Even the mongrels can see you're about to pull his head off.
아하.
Do it, homo!
Pull his head off. There's no point performing an autopsy if you do. We'll have compromised the coroner's case.
아, okay.
Indeed, from this angle, it does look like the neck isn't going to take much more. Being dead for a week has all but liquefied his muscle.
그러면 내려가긴 해야겠네.
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to that boot? Maybe we should concentrate on what's outside the boot and leave what's inside to the boys at processing? Just this once. Besides,
Okay.
there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now. Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
You're sure there's a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down, and second, it would probably
아니
be better
부츠를
if the
왜 훔침?
lieutenant wasn't around.
수사해야 되는데 무슨 소리야? 거부하다.
All right then, you can pay the hostel bill in honor points. How many honor points have you collected?
그런 게 있었나?
Of course there aren't.
제자.
Don't be naive.
그래 이해했어.
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing.
두드려
We must
볼게요.
speak of-
A small bell-like sound fills the air.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally from plate to plate.
Faint organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignin variety. If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like. The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton.
야, 뭐야 이거. 그렇군요.
The whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination.
좋은 거 찾았네.
100, 1000.
Good. Can you read it to me?
X5415 6745 678 Let's lie.
싫어.
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
시간이 걸리더라도 하나씩 보죠.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships.
저건 항공 운송용 화물 고정 벨트야.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them. The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves. I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes, motivated by the ongoing strike. You? 70% of the cases I get are just filling in the blanks on the initial report.
Okay.
This belt worries me. I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either.
이게 좋은 질문을 하면은 경치를 받나 보네요.
Then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
가지에 벨트를 걸고 그걸 향해서 버클을 잠근 것 같습니다.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory. The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
문신들을 보겠습니다.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great century Messinian, maybe. But this seems more particular. Customized somehow.
As if someone left out most of the night sky, filtering it through personal choice. The principle of this filter remains unknown to you.
아니 말이 거의 없는데 이거 지금 글 읽느라 말이 없어졌어요. 근데 나레이션 나오는 때 굳이 얘기를 해야 될까?
So am I.
오. 뭐야?
He wears a wide leather belt around his waist and a gun holster under his arm.
권총 홀스터가 팔 아래 매어 있습니다.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
사진 찍니?
A Trigger Sunshine. Mini.
Triggered is the world's leading manufacturer
카메라,
of intercommunication devices.
사진 찍는 거
Primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
간단한 슬롯에서 빛이 난다.
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound,
Oh.
a shrill flash, followed
사진.
by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
오케이.
In case we need it.
뭐 장식 멋진데?
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
맞지?
There is only one ampoule left. Use it wisely.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
복사기 없나? 일단 사진은 킴이 가지고 있는 게 가장 좋을 것 같은데요.
Here, a souvenir.
아
Don't
뭐야?
lose it.
그래도 주고요. 뭐 감사합니다.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
결국에는 언젠가 내리긴 해야 되지 않나? 일단 이걸 보죠.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
이거 한번 해보죠. 백색 판정이니까.
The corpse
실패.
is dead silent. You have no idea why you just said that.
Who is he? He is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
The corpse looks right through
Gummy.
you as you distance yourself from its stench. Eyes like a shark.
5번.
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration?
아 이거 추리할 때 당신은 추리할 때가 가장 멋지다.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
얼굴과 손이 분홍색으로 변색됐군.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
The monster comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
오케이.
So, what do you think?
이 사람 죽은 뒤에도 쳐져 있었겠지. 시체에서 4번이 그나마
I do.
것 같은데.
Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little spot.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
It means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal-like.
I agree.
His personality is no longer a part of the world.
Totally dead. Absolutely. Agreed. Especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head.
피해자가
The
교살이 된
hypothesis
거.
supports a hanging.
근데 시체가 사망한 뒤에 옮겨졌을 수도 있나? 모르겠다.
There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Did we? I don't feel lucky.
다행이군. 이렇게.
But there is no breath to catch, only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
Okay.
The steel reinforced belt presents a unique challenge.
Okay.
I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
He doesn't actually think the challenge is unique. He thinks it's frustrating, annoying, and harder than he thought.
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
그러게 이거 스스로 내릴 수 있으면 좋긴 하겠는데 얘가 시체가 무겁기 때문에.
Someone else? You mean like the police?
What was that about processing, then? Weren't they supposed to take care of the boots? Why don't they help?
그러니까 시신 수습팀 사람들이 해결해 줄 수 있지 않을까?
No.
왜?
Think of the boys from processing as murderers. Only instead of people, they murder crime scenes. Processing is a wrecking crew. They know how to commission off items and how to work the incinerator.
아니 뭐야? 그러면 경찰.
I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down fast.
그러면은
climb up there and saw the branch? There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees.
쏴서 떨어뜨리는 거?
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
Where the buckle ties the rope to the branch. That's a good spot to aim.
Where? Ah, yes, I see. If the shot
과연?
hits that,
되나?
there might be a chance to release the belt.
할 수 있나?
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
I'll blow his head off.
Take it! Take the shot!
Yeah, take the shot. Kuno wants some of that shit.
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight
권총을
firearm.
꺼낸다.
He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks,
성공하자.
securing it in place. That's a Kiel
불황용사 성공했네.
A1990 Armistice, mass-produced muzzle loader, ascetic, frugal, one of the most common firearms in the world. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches.
이럴 때는
His
오히려
finger
말을
is
안
on
거는
the
게
trigger.
가장 좋습니다.
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is
Oh.
drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the
벨트가 너무
lieutenant steps
단단해.
back and says to himself,
God damn it.
오.
a lot of things were wrong with that shot. The fellow's test was the wrong choice. His shoulders were raised, but above all, he cannot trust his eyesight.
Fucking idiot! Mookabat asshole!
오.
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he? Kuno's sorry too. Kuno feels sorry for the Beano Cloud.
The lieutenant doesn't say a word, just looks at the gun in his hand.
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
아, 내가 쏠걸.
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
It's bad as it
내가
is,
쏘보다.
us shooting firearms like punks. Go ahead, I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
They only have one gun!
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana boyka! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
A
빼라.
cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly
할 수 있나?
light.
할 수
Your
있을 거야.
fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger.
가자.
You've held this,
휴전
an
접종
A9
권총.
Armistice, before. At some point, it probably used to be your choice of firearm. It still feels comfortable,
Okay.
like you never laid it down.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth!
The buckle comes into focus in your
되나?
sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth?
42%?
Your field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely
눈 감으면은
the metal buckle
더 잘 쏠 수 있지 않을까?
catching the noon light as the corpse slowly rotates.
오케이.
The slow movement of the branch in the wind and your shoulders directing the gun sink up, dancing hypnotically.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
이거 하긴 해야겠지. 58% 가시죠. 가자. 아, 성공했다.
The buckle explodes into
딱 대라.
coming loose with a whir.
대박.
With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slump down. For a moment, the man
이걸
appears
성공하네.
to kneel in front of
오케이.
you, looking straight at you, helpless, trapped within itself.
Communism.
우.
It takes a millisecond for the
대화에
association
성공했구나.
to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from, only that it's right.
오케이.
Then the rigger in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways
level
into
up.
the spring mud, letting out a horrid stench.
Ace is high.
고공의 에이스. 하하.
The ace is high.
Ace
a
is
custom
high.
invented by the aerostatic brigades during the revolution, is used to celebrate success in Revachol, especially in sports. The gesture is spread across the world, despite the defeat of the revolutionaries themselves.
오케이.
You could add an ace's low to it, if you like, by turning your back after the high and waiting for another.
쓰고 종 에이스를 기다린다.
The high arrives with a sharp slap. As you turn around, there is a moment of doubt.
히히.
Feels
하이파이브,
like
로우
the
파이브
blow
해야죠.
ain't gonna connect. Chill. It's gonna connect. But then
나이스.
it does, and with furious precision. The lieutenant is not one to leave an ace's low hanging.
불안경찰 결론이 뭐지? 아니 정신 아니지. 좀 이따 봐야겠다.
I knew these guys were.
We will perform a field autopsy and determine the cause of death. But before... Excuse me.
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells. The fall seems to have released something deep inside.
저런.
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy.
Okay.
In the meantime, we should try to interview Evrard Clare, the leader of the Union. Harbor property was clearly used in the hanging. The harbor just east of here. Getting in might prove a challenge.
항만 들어가서 조사를 좀 해야겠네.
Or we could ask around for the representative of the logistics company. My initial information says the Wild Pines have sent some sort of strike negotiator to wrangle control back from Evrard.
와일드 파인즈 사측 대표 탐문. 노조 대표 탐문. 아니 시체 조사하는 데만 2시간 걸렸는데 저 사람들 조사하면 하루 다 지나겠는데. 정원사에게 길 물어보기. 좋습니다. 이게 그 유명한 초기 탐문 대상 명부인가? 오케이. 그러면은 일단 불안경찰 효과 뭐지 이거?
Technically, you wouldn't be a cop anymore, but a hobo. That would mean game over for the cop chapter of your adventures. But who knows where the hobo part takes you? To the bar, the old l'Assommoir.
오케이. 불안경찰 결론. 특별한 콜렉터즈 에디션 공병이 지도상에 등장함. 근데 지도가 없잖아. 공병 판매 시 획득하는 돈수가 이거는 좋네. 소름 스킬 레벨 제한이 6으로 상향됨. 그리고 지금 소름이 어딨지? 아 여기구나. 그리고 제가 지금 레벨을 2 정도 업할 수 있을 거예요. 맞나? 이것도 보고 도구도 보고 아이템도 보고 이거 길거리에 공부 모아야 되고 완료한 거 그래도 완료 좀 많이 했고 이런 거 많이 해야 되네. 현장 검신 이런 거 해야 되나? 변사체를 자세히 검사하여 사인을 찾자. 검진 주소에 3개 항목을 채워야 한다. 아, 그리고 저공에 있으지. 맞아, 이거를 해야 되지. 플러스 2 공감상 김기출하기. 오케이. 그러면 이렇게 하고, 그러면은 많이 했는데? 시체 조사까지 하고 시체 내리기까지 완벽하겠죠. 지난번에 했을 때는 시체 내리기는 못했던 것 같긴 한데, 아무튼 이렇게 오래 걸렸지만 뭐야, 좀 긴 영상이 되었지만 이거 편집 안 하고 그대로 올릴 겁니다. 그래서 아마 말도 많이 없을 텐데 지금 긴 영상 봐주셔서 감사하고, 저는 다음 시간에 또 다른 디스코 엘리시움 영상으로 찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다. 다음에 봅시다.